Hey everyone, it's May and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Tarja's album Colors in the Dark. We're just going in order, so let's get into it. If you haven't seen my Winter Storm and What Lies Beneath reviews, those will be up on my channel before this. You can go check those out if you haven't already. I will just say that this is my least favorite album. I really had to go back and listen to the songs. Like, I couldn't even have told you the track list because this is definitely the one I listened to the least. And just like the other albums, I found that when I listened to the songs more, I appreciated them because before I just, had the ones I liked and had only been listening to those. But yeah. I found some other ones that I liked, but I'd still say overall this is my least favorite. I still like it, and guys, that's just my opinion, don't come at me in the comments. I know a lot of people really like this one. I think critically, when I was reading on the Wikipedia page, people were like the music critics were like, this is the best one so far. I was like, really? I don't think so. Anyway, What Lies Beneath is my favorite, if you haven't watched the video yet. I just don't understand how someone could listen to this album and think it's better than What Lies Beneath. I'm jokes, it's just my opinion. But anyway, I just want to be clear that I'm not even a music critic. This is just my opinion, and that's what's so cool about music, so that everyone has different opinions and different interpretations of songs. And just personally, this isn't the album that I would go out of my way to listen to all the way through, but it's still good. There's still a lot of good stuff to talk about. So let's get into it. For some reason the song is not on Spotify. There's only Left in the Dark, which was her B-side version of this album. So I don't know what's with that. And when I first got into Nightwish and Tarja, this was her latest release, which is crazy to think about how long ago that was. What the heck? So when I first started listening, I only had these first three albums. Once again, she was very involved in the writing of the songs, had a hand in writing all of them. I think My Winter Storm is the only one where she had other people write some of the songs, and on all her other albums she's very involved in the writing and production and everything. And I would say this album is definitely more experimental sounding to me than those first two. Like I've said before, just the vibes I get from the first two albums. My Winter Storm is kind of a film score soundtrack kind of a deal, and there's a lot of ballads on it, which I loved. And then What Lies Beneath is a heavier rock album kind of, without as much of those film score-y vibes. Still there somewhat, but I feel that really comes back on Colors in the Dark. There's a lot of songs that sound like a film soundtrack basically, and just a lot of experimental things. And I think that's why this album isn't easy listening, for some of the songs. You really have to listen to them a couple times to kind of appreciate it, I think. And that's probably what she intended. It's not just oh, I'm just gonna sit back and listen to this. It's not easy listening. And so that's what makes it interesting. But just for me, the experimental songs, some of them I like, we'll get into that, but it's just not my favorite. Anyway, track one is Victim of Ritual. So I find this song similar to Anteroom of Death in that the verses have a very different feel and tempo than the chorus, and so it can be off-putting on first listen, just like Anteroom of Death, where it doesn't even seem like the same song, and the transition's kind of weird. But I just feel the more you listen to it, it's just such a bop. I like Anteroom of Death better, but I still really like Victim of Ritual. It's very dramatic, and there's kind of that symphonic feel. There's an oboe in it and stuff playing the intro. It has a really good music video, which kind of goes with the meaning of the song. If you haven't seen the music video, you should. It's really good. Basically it just shows people in this warehouse doing the same thing over and over. Someone's painting black canvas squares, someone's doing a really monotonous dance, there's the oboe player, and then Tarja comes in as this figure that's helping everyone break out of that ritual. So the first verse says, black eyes and hardly breathing, when there's no light you sacrifice. Alone, a monster living, you lost the fight before the fall. How did you end up in hell? That's the really staccato dramatic part before it goes into the chorus. And so it's kind of touching on the fact that I think that we just get caught up in our daily lives so much, and these rituals of just, the same thing over and over, that we just don't realize maybe how miserable we are, or how much we are not satisfied with our life. That's kind of the how did you end up in hell part, and you don't even know because you've just been keeping your head down and doing the same thing for so long. So I think that's a really interesting theme. Basically in the music video she helps them break out of their routines and become creative, and then there's some other force that like tries to kill her. There's like a color war. She's like sprinkling like it looks like chalk color on everyone, and then like the people that she helps start throwing the chalk color at the evil force thing, and then everyone's happy, and that's the end. She said that this album isn't like a concept album like What Lies Beneath kind of was, where all the songs fit that same theme. She said the songs weren't like written at the same time, they were just kind of like pulled from different times and she had worked on them, and she like put them all together for this album. But I think that we still see like little pieces of that like colors in the dark kind of theme, because in the Victim of Ritual music video you see that these pops of color and these pops of creativity are bringing color to the dark. The theme of this song reminds me of Falling Awake in a way. Basically, if you haven't seen that video where I talked about it, Falling Awake from What Lies Beneath is about falling awake from the walking sleep, like realizing what you want to do with your life and like breaking free from, you know, whatever stagnant place you were. So that kind of thematically connects to this, I think. And track 2 is 500 Letters. I love this one. This was a jam the first time I heard it. It's so good. It's so catchy. Like, it will get stuck in your head. She said that it's the most personal song on the album for her because it's actually like literally taken from real life. It's about like a stalker experience she had. I've been trying to find like the full story, and people like in the comments of the videos are like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, this happened. I'm like, what's your source for that? Like, I have not seen like the actual story for this anywhere. Just and I'll link it down below. Like, some of the information I'm gonna talk about is just from her kind of like little track by track interviews on the Ear Music channel, and that's what she said about this one. So if anyone knows the full story, I'd love to know, but I can't find it. So we just know that it's a stalker, and there's also a music video for this one. It's a little bit creepy, so just prepare yourself for that, but it's entertaining. And then track 3 we have Lucid Dreamer. The tune at the beginning, like the very first vocals, sound like Victim of Ritual again, where it goes, no, I'm not gonna sing. I regretted editing the video when I was singing last time. You can listen to it for yourself. That was just something I realized. I would say this is a really, really experimental song. There's like this whole dream sequence part in the middle that's like this instrumental, and you can hear a child kind of like crying, which I think is her daughter because she was a baby when she was writing this album, and she said she recorded her at some point, so I'm pretty sure it's in that. But it kind of creeped me out a little bit, not gonna lie. But I think that part, you know, could be considered just like atmospheric and dreamlike. And that's kind of what I mean by this not being easy listening. Some of them are just like catchy songs, but this one definitely isn't. Yeah, I'm not like a huge fan of this song. I don't know, but it's a cool concept. Like, I love that she just like chose to write a song about lucid dreaming, and she said that she chose that because she was really interested in it and like wanted to lucid dream. And there was a time in my life when I was really into it too, and I actually was able to do it. But I have lost that now. If you're interested, it really helps to write down your dreams. I have like a dream journal app on my phone that I actually use sometimes, or you can just write down your dream. I think it's like more effective if you write it on paper, but whatever. And it trains your brain to think that it's important, so then you start becoming more aware in your dreams. And there's reality checks that you can do throughout the day, which is why I think she has the line, "Just look in the mirror," in the chorus, because that's a reality check you can do. Like, you can look at yourself in the mirror, and if something looks off and you're probably dreaming, you can look at words and look away and look back, and usually they'll change in a dream, whereas in real life they would obviously stay the same. So like, the reason you do reality checks during the day in real life is so you get that ingrained as like a habit, so that in your dreams you just keep doing it, but then you'll realize that something's off. Although I realized when I was really into this, it's like one thing to become aware in your dreams, but then actually learning how to control them is like another skill, in my opinion. Like, flying was always pretty easy, but like making certain things appear was hard. Like, it helps if you're like, okay, I'm gonna go around the corner here and see this, or I'm gonna open this and see this, because actually just making something appear out of nowhere is hard. Anyway, this is so off topic. I just think it's a really cool concept. Anyway, that's that. And then track 4 is Never Enough. Heavy rock song, very catchy. I like it. I don't love it. I just feel like it's really repetitive after a while, but definitely one of the more like catchy, like easier listening songs on the album. And I'm pretty sure it's about Nightwish, and specifically the people who were obsessed with her going back to Nightwish. If you look at the lyrics, that really fits for me. Will be discussed later. Okay, so this is me later just popping in to say that when I filmed this video, it had been a really long time since I had watched the Act 1 concert all the way through. It's my favorite concert of hers, by the way, but anyway, I was listening to the live album the other day, and when I heard Never Enough, I was like, oh my god. Like, I didn't even recognize it at first. I was like, what is this? And then she started singing. I was like, oh my god. I like the live version so much better than the studio version. I don't know why she changed it. Like, that song's always just been like, I'm not gonna skip it, but it's just not my favorite. But it would have ranked so much higher for me if the one that was on the album was the same arrangement that she had done it live. Like, it's so much more nuanced, I think, is why I like it more. It just sounds very, very, very heavy, and it just becomes monotonous in my opinion. Like, it just drags on, and it's just really, really heavy in your face on the album version. But like, that keyboard part at the beginning that like brings in a thread of the melody and it like is trickled throughout it, it was just so amazing. So anyway, I just had to say that I really, really, really like the live version of Never Enough. Track 5 is Mystique Voyage. She wrote this one all by herself, and it's a slower song. Not one that I liked before, and I kind of got into it this time. It's definitely grown on me. It definitely has a more classical vibe, not really a metal song at all. Something about it weirdly sounds like it could have been from her first Christmas album. It just has like this vibe for some reason. I'm probably the only one who thinks that. It has nothing to do with Christmas, but just like the sound of it kind of sounds like that. And the lyrics are in English, Spanish, and even a little bit in Finnish. I looked up the Spanish lyrics translated, and it seems like the chorus could be kind of like a metaphor for taking risks, trying new things and experiences, and represented by a metaphor of the ship sailing away from the port. That's just how I thought of it. And track 6 is Darkness, which is her cover on this album by Peter Gabriel originally. And I love it. I think it worked so well the way she sang it. I've really never heard a cover of hers that I don't like. Oh, it's so good, and I feel like it was such a good choice for this album. Also, just the name of it, Darkness, fits. I just feel like when you listen to the album, it just fits right in, and yeah, nothing more to say, really. And then track 7 is Deliverance, and this one to me really sounds like a movie soundtrack. The first time I heard it, I was like, what is this from? Like, I swear, like, it's sampling something, and I still haven't figured it out, but it sounds like a suspense movie, like the background music. And I think she worked with, let me see who she worked with on this, because I want to say he works on film scores. Jim Dooley. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I had to look that up. But yeah, so she worked with Jim Dooley, and I think he wrote like the background music and she wrote the lyrics, so that makes sense and it sounds like a film score. I think what it reminds me, I still haven't found exactly what I think it's like sampled from, or maybe it's not, I don't know, but it actually sounds a little bit like the Doctor Who music in like season 5, not like the theme song, but like the music that's like always going on in the show. I don't know. And she also said this is the first love song she's written, which I was like, wait, really? But then when I looked back, I was like, yeah, I guess it actually is, because I guess you don't really see that on the first 2 albums if you really think about it. And then track 8 is Neverlight. This is probably the heaviest one on the album, along with Never Enough. I tried listening to this a couple times and I just don't really like it that much. It sounds a little bit like Little Lies. When I say that something sounds like something else, I'm not trying to say that it's like, oh, this is exactly the same, because I know she doesn't like repeating herself. I'm not trying to like say that. I'm just like kind of trying to show like connections between different things on her albums with the music and the lyrics. So anyway, not like trying to bash, but like the verses sound like the verses of Little Lies a little bit, but I like Little Lies way better. And then I also just wanted to point out with the lyrics that it says, into the shadow of my darker side where no one finds me, and I feel like that is such a cool little prelude to the shadow self, because that's what the shadow self's all about. I just love that we get that little hint there. I don't know if it was intentional, but I noticed it when I was looking through the lyrics this time, and I was like, that's a connection there. And then track 9 is Until Silence, which is a ballad, and it's really the only ballad on the album unless you want to consider Mystique Voyage a ballad, which it like kind of is, kind of isn't, I don't know. And this song reminds me My Heart Will Go On with both the lyrics and the tune. But it's really pretty, and it's where the title of the album comes from, and just that line is so beautiful. It says, but dreams still in my heart are painting colors in the dark. And it's so pretty. It's basically about, I guess, waiting for someone. The chorus says, goodbye, I know my love will go on, and wait until the tears are gone. Goodbye, I know this love will go on until the silence says goodbye. I saw our memories die, for our dreams had lost their meaning, but dreams still in my heart are painting colors in the dark. So it's hard to say like if this is about like someone specific or if it's about just like fictional thing, but it someone did say somewhere that it, like, they were like, is this about her mom? And I was like, oh, actually, like, I feel like it could be. Yeah, I don't know, I like it. And then track 10 is one of my all-time faves, Medusa. This song I wouldn't consider easy listening at all either. Like, the first time you hear it, it's probably like, huh, that's interesting. But I remember like really getting into this song when I was in high school. I loved it so much that I would just like have my iPod ready so that I could literally put in my earbuds and listen to like 3 minutes of it walking in between classes. And it just like made me so happy. So yeah, I just think it's a really interesting song. We have some male vocals on here as well. Let me see who sings this. Justin Furstenfeld. Yeah. And personally, it doesn't really make me think of Medusa, but when you look at the lyrics, like, definitely that's there. But yeah, that's where she got the inspiration for the song. And I just love the tune of it so much. It is such a unique tune and vibe and everything. Love. And then finally we have our bonus track, which is Into the Sun. This is one that she started playing live actually before the album, which I think she did with Never Enough as well. So like on the What Lies Beneath tour, she was already playing this one. This is a ballad, really pretty. Not one of my favorite ballads, but yeah. That is all, folks. I feel like that was really fast, but I just don't have as much to say about this album as I do the other ones. I feel like I think I appreciate it more, but it's still just not what I would go out of my way to listen to. These songs just didn't stick with me the same way the songs from the other albums did, aside from my favorites, of course. I think that's the best way to describe it. Like, I don't find myself seeking them out the same way. But yeah, that's totally just my opinion. I know some people really like this album. I'm not like saying it was good or bad. I don't think we can really judge that because everyone just has different opinions, and I think that the songs are really interesting and experimental. The way I think of it is like this album is when she kind of tried exploring like different types of songs and experimenting with that, and just like the songs on this album weren't my favorites, but when she kind of developed that sound more, because I would also say like a lot of her songs on the Shadow Self are kind of like experimental too, if you will. Maybe not to the same extent as these, but I feel like she just like developed that style more and it like got better. So anyway, yeah, those are my thoughts. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about this album. Again, I know a lot of people like really like it, so you can tell me your favorites and I will try to listen to them more. Also, if you notice that there's like Christmas decorations, I'm filming these videos way in advance, so you're not gonna be watching this until probably like well after Christmas, but it's Christmas time right now and will be for like the next couple videos that I'm filming. Anyway, also I tried filming this way this time because I really hated editing back my other videos and seeing the clutter of my desk behind it. It's not clutter, it's decoration, but it just looked really busy, so let me know if you guys prefer this, but I will have already filmed probably like 5 other videos before you even watch this. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos coming. I will be doing the rest of Tarja's solo albums and then all of the Nightwish albums and more from there. Yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. Please give me a comment down below if you want to discuss any of this further, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.